Ramsey, aka LeVar, the editor-in-chief of Snubb3d Magazine. Thank you so much today for joining us for another sit down. I'm super excited as usual when we have sit downs because I get to talk to our guests and have that fun and friendly conversation with them. As you all know, it's not an interview, it's a conversation. So today, as you see on the screen with me as well, we have a very special guest. Some of you already know him, and some you may be reintroduced to him or just introduced to who he is as a person. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna ask my guest already. You know, we don't introduce you. You introduce yourself how you want the world to see you.
Oh, okay. So this is the point, right? So,
Yeah, there's the boy.
what's up, world? Snow, the whole sit down. My name is Marck Angel. I'm a pop R&B singer, dancer, originally from New York. But I travel back and forth between New York and DC actually. So it's a lot.
Right.
I've been doing this for about 10 years. I write, I dance, I produce my own tracks, I choreograph, I act. I have a new album out entitled SERAPHIM, and we're on tour now. We're pushing the album, and we actually have a short film coming out for the album as well. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Definitely. So let's jump right into it. So how did this all begin for you? Because obviously you have many talents like you just already listed.
Ah,
Uh, where did it all begin for you? Where was the moment that you actually, saw that passion or that flair to be like, you know what, this is my gift?
Uh, so I grew up in a household of music. My father
Mm.
wasn't a musician, but he played music so much. My mother tells me stories about how she used to like unplug the cord from the record player and the tape players because he used to play music so much. So I think even before I was born, it was just sort of like this musical
Embedded in you.
radiation. You know what I mean? Like the sort of like this musical radiation. So because no one else in my family is, and as far as I know, on either side is a musician.
Mm.
Um, they just love music. My mother wanted to be an actress at one time, but that's kind of where it started. And then in grade school, it was probably around like fifth, sixth grade, I tried out for this musical theater show called Godspell.
Okay.
Not no, just like a little black boy trying it. And I tried out for it, and I got the part. I was shocked. My parents were shocked. And we went through the process, and I practiced, and I killed the show. I was like 10 years old, and from that point, people were like, "Yeah," to my mother, "Yeah, like he's got something." So I just continued it, and then she took me to my first Janet concert, and that was it for me. I did a
I think
quick arc.
I think
Yeah,
that's for everybody. When you speak of the Jacksons, you speak
yeah,
of an iconic family right there.
yeah.
That whole family's
Absolutely.
iconic.
Yeah, like and all the stuff from Michael. Like my father was the first person who introduced me to Michael and Janet and all of Motown, all of the old stuff. It's like he made sure that I was cultured in that way for some reason. And here I am. Yeah.
Definitely. So hopping into your music now, because of all of that you already brought up into it, how has that gotten you ready? Because even at your first, what you said, your first play, you've already stepped into a new space. Not everybody knows how to get ready for those things or to know your lines, or if it is something you have to sing or say, how do you prepare yourself for the moment where you're at now, where you just, you briefly brought up your tour and your album, and we're gonna get on that in a second. But let's start on the preparation of it. How do you get yourself ready for the those moments?
Um, One, I always say it's the grace of God, because God always kind of leads you and puts you in the places, even when it's unintentional for us.
Right.
He helps us kind of see it in little things. And looking back, I'm like, oh gosh, I was like in that play. And oh yeah, I did win that dance contest. And oh yeah, I was in choir all through high school. And oh yeah, you think of all the, I think they call it what, the 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours
The 10,000 hours to make.
that
Yeah.
you get. Oh yeah, I was singing in gospel choir. Oh yeah, those are where those hours kind of came up. Oh yeah, I did stay inside instead of going outside and watch Mary J. Blige videos, Janet Jackson videos, TLC videos all day long.
Right.
Those are those hours of training, and it kind of, I guess, it gets embedded in you. So I
Mhm.
always say to the grace of God first, and then sort of the study of it and study the greats. Even now, especially with when I was recording the album, it was like, no, we got to study the greats. We got to look at the sonics of what they've done, look at how they've done it, choosing nothing less than hits, you know, has to be the best of the best of the best. So studying is one. And then like I said, the $10,000, the practice. Like we practice so much. I practice so much. Like I will be in here dancing for 2 hours, then I'll go to the studio and dance for like another 4 or 5, and then come home and re-rehearse for another couple of hours what we just learned. And you don't realize, oh my gosh, you've exhausted yourself so much because you've practiced so much. So practice is very important as well. Yeah.
Definitely. You touched on something. I don't think a lot of people understand that being as a creative, even me when it comes down to it, you study your craft. You look
Yeah.
at people that have already paved the way for you
Yeah.
or already is in the same arena as you. And then if you want to add a little twist, you may watch something else to incorporate that into it. I'm the same way. I'm the type of person, if I see something I'll put it like this. I'm the type of person I could walk into an empty room and already see how I want the room to look, how I want it to align and be that way. And some people are like, there's no way that you saw. I was like, I see
Yeah,
everything
you can see
be a
it.
certain way. I don't know where I'm going to find it,
Mhm.
but I know how it's the finished product is supposed to look, you know? And I think that's, you know, that goes back onto what you're saying when you're saying you're studying. And there may be moments for me, even when people be like, oh, you want to go here, you want to go there. And I'm like, I can't go tonight. Unfortunately, I got something,
Yeah.
you know, like you have those.
I've missed so many birthdays and events.
Right. And it's not like you're doing it on purpose, but you know what you're chasing after to get to that point. Because when it's time for when it gets to the big moment, all of a sudden everybody's gonna be back around like, oh, I knew you could have did it. I know it.
And
You
and
know?
that's also part of those mantras
Mhm.
is combining all of that with the drive.
Yeah.
Um, the greats will tell you, like I said, study talking about the greats, right? The greats will tell you the stuff that they do. You could probably find 18 million other people that can do exactly the same thing, the same way, if not better.
Right.
But the difference is one, of course, the grace of God,
Right.
and that personal drive,
Hmm.
that grind that just pushes you outside of the fray, you know.
Right.
So yeah. So all of those things, yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So let's talk about your music now. The journey of it. You know, we're seeing how times have changed. We're going to like we're talking about like streaming sales. We're talking about getting to how the visuals got to be. Everybody's big on visuals now. We see that now, even with Beyonce. Everybody's like, "Girl, where's the visuals? Where are the visuals?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like leave the lady alone. She just put out a whole
Yeah,
album. Like
yeah.
y'all relax.
But
You know what I'm
we
saying?
still crave for that. We still crave for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I
We
think that
really do.
when you give people an album, they're like, okay, what's next? And it's like, let's
Yeah,
simmer. You know, for me, it's like being, like I said, being a creative, you know what it's like. You're like, okay, you for you after you're done job, I'm sure you know the visuals, concepts, and all that stuff was being in motion,
yeah,
but you just put your heart and soul into already a project. That's an additional project that I think people don't understand that it's still practices that get involved with it. There's still people you still got to grab. You got to make sure you get the right people, you know.
correct. And you
But
haven't even toured yet.
no,
You haven't toured yet.
you don't even know what the venues even look like yet,
Yeah,
probably to
yeah,
get it all
yeah.
together, you
Because
know?
that's a whole nother sub project in itself. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So going back to your album, what's your mindset on how you go in, and are you telling it from your life's perspective? Are you going in as a third person thinking about how you're writing these songs and doing them? Or is it things around the world? I've seen some, you know, some of the videos and I could tell like where it's pulling from. Of course, I believe one was Human. I saw that
Yeah.
visual and everything with that. But where's each thing for you pulling from, or is it different aspects?
Uh, so each project is different. My first album was Angel Dust. That was like in 2014. Like that was when I was first like starting, just a little fledgling, like, hey, look at
Right, I'm here.
that was absolutely personal, more personal perspective.
Mm,
But this project, Seraphim, it's a socially conscious pop album. So I wanted to speak to xenophobia and racism and bigotry and misogyny and environmental issues, mental health things, toxicities, that human toxicities, sort of into one sort of collection, one symphony, because it actually is a symphony. It's just it's in 4 parts. It's cut up into 4 parts, like an official symphony would be, to kind of tackle these problems that we have in the world. But I didn't want to come at it from sort of this dystopian kind of, fire and brimstone, pulpity sort of thing. I wanted to be uplifting. I wanted it to be up tempo. I wanted it to empower people, much like a Rhythm Nation did, and Michael Jackson's Bad album did, or Prince's Sign of the Times, Madonna stuff, Lauryn Hill's, stuff, where you can dance to it, but then you can also pay attention to what's going on in the world around you.
Right.
And the only thing for me, by making it a pop album, we were trying to hit on all of these different, I wanted to do rock, I wanted to do pop, I wanted to do R&B, I wanted to do soul, I wanted to do gospel, I wanted to do folk, and sort of blend all of these different genres in. So getting the inspiration for it, if I had to talk about the research of it, like I said, it was Rhythm Nation on constant. It was Michael Jackson's Bad album on constant. It was Marvin Gaye on constant. Stevie Wonder on constant. Lauryn Hill, Prince, Madonna, all of the greats that they're pop artists, but they still have a socially conscious connection and effort in their career mantra and construct. So that was really what it was. And it just so happened to, which is crazy, coincide with summer 2020. The whole, even, I mean, thinking back to all the stuff with even Trayvon Martin and all that stuff, all of that stuff was sort of kind of building up, and George Floyd happened, and everything was just like, oh shit, it's going.
No, you're good. You're
good. Yeah, and it just so happened to be, by the grace of, not say by the grace of God, it's bittersweet, but in time with everything that was happening. So even though I had a life's worth of situations of being Black and being queer, of things that I want to say from my perspective, I was getting stuff in real time to write about.
Definitely.
So it was just like, whoa. And so, here we are. We Seraphim came out in 14 songs later. We have a critically acclaimed and award-winning album, and it's great.
There you go. There you go.
But it's good, yeah.
Definitely. And speaking of it, we're a lot of people don't understand how important representation is in the entertainment world and the music world. No matter where we're at, representation is huge. No matter your background, your platform, what you represent, you always want to see someone that looks like you, or be able to connect with individuals, because that, number one, I tell people all the time, and I'm gonna get to that shortly, people are going to look up to you. Even that we just passed, when we saw each other at the IM Awards, and you're on the carpet doing your thing, no matter what, you were on the carpet, so people were genuinely looking at you as you were doing it, and then when other things that you were doing that night, but automatically you were being in a position of representing whatever your purpose is that you want to represent, and making sure that you represent it correctly. So I want to go back to the question, like, how important is that to you to be a representative for what you stand for, what you believe in? How important is that to you?
Extremely important. It's been important since day one. We're jumping all over the place, but it's part of the reason why I turned down a couple of record contracts was because because they didn't know how to incorporate the queer component into the space. And at the time, this is before Pose, and around that time. So that space was kind of open. The Lil Nas X space opened, that queer musicianship and art up a little bit more. We've had certain things, even going back, the gay marriage thing also opened up space for us. All these little milestones that have come along the way. So it's that important for me that I've turned down record contracts in order to answer your question, from major labels, because I wanted to, at that time, to be able to be 100% myself, and I'm not going to ever try to not be Black or try to not be queer. It's a part of who I am, just as much as I am a man. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
I get to deny things of myself, that other people don't have to deny. So that is important for me. It's important in the way I present myself, and just even in my normal life and in the entertainment world, in my music, in the film shorts, when I do web series or films or anything like that. It's very, very important for me to be in that, and also to employ that as
Right.
well. Black and it's important for us to barter, employ, and commerce with Black and brown, queer people and people of the like, because if we don't take ourselves seriously, other people aren't going to take us seriously. So yeah, let's just hope this whole production for SERAPHIM, everything from the album to the tour and even the film short, 99.9% of the cast and crew are Black and brown, BIPOC
Right.
people. Yeah, absolutely, queer people. So which was very, very important for me, because I wanted to, like I said, employ us and work with amazing lights in our community. So I try to represent it even on the business side, in the backside.
Definitely. And
Yes,
I think
I'm
that's
really talking so much, but yeah.
no, no, you're good. You're good. I think that's important to say because I think a lot of times people don't understand. Um, when you don't have that in a space, when you walk into a room, you sometimes don't understand if everybody knows the story or the journey of what you've gone through as an
Connects, yeah.
individual. Like I've said, sometimes when I see certain movies being filmed and you start seeing who wrote it or how they do it, and you sit back and you're like, I can see how they're telling the story, but that's not how we do right there. Like, nah, like,
Right,
like that's not even how we think. And
right.
then when you see certain things, you're like, okay, this bring back memories. I remember this part, and I even take it to like even me growing up. Like, I grew up in the church, my parents, I've seen all of that. So I know certain things that a minister child goes through. So if you try to tell me
Yes.
something, you try to tell me something of a church where my mom could be at the pulpit and she don't give me that certain face, and you should come on now, like we're not about to don't sit there and try to act like we're not about to play this whole game.
Yes.
Like there's little things that you could tell when a cast is not in tune with who you
Boom.
are,
Yes. Yes.
And I
Yes.
even done that with Snub. Like I made sure that everybody that's working with us or a platform that they understand that this is a safe haven. This is a safe space. This is a positive space. There's no media blasting. We don't do that gossip. We don't. That's not how we do it over here. If you
Right.
do, we do that. That's somewhere else. That's not who
Right.
we are because
Right.
that's the representation that we want to represent in our community. And I think that's important that you brought that up. That you are employing, everybody that's supposed to be in that room because number one is representation, but it's also you're preparing, whether or not you know that, you're preparing for the next part of the future because that person's going to remember that you did that for them and they can go back and, bring it, pay it
Pay it
forward,
forward. Yep.
you
And
know?
absolute. That's the whole.
You know
That is
that?
you got it right on it, man. That's like the whole. That is the whole point. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely.
And people that will say, oh well, you got to include white people and you got to. Well, yeah, but they're included everywhere. We're not including them. It's just that we're
Right.
trying to make sure that we are included.
Right. And the conversation and how to do
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think sometimes also it adds on to it too is sometimes the equipment that we even have sometimes may be older or it may not be the top notch stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like there's other things to think about when people talk that like I just sit back sometimes and I'm like, all right, got you. All right. The conversation, I hear you, but at the same time, we've
Right,
lived
right,
it.
right,
We've lived
right,
it. We understand it.
right.
Just calm down for a second. Let the project go how it's supposed to go.
Culture.
you know.
This,
But go
right.
for the let's get back to let's go to the tour now. So now you brought it up. So what are we going to look forward to on this tour? You gave us a little of the inspiration that's going to be involved with it, but what can people expect from this tour?
So, gosh, so it's two sides, right? So
Okay.
it's always two sides, which we kind of evolved it in that way. There's the performance piece, and then there's also I have the film festival tour, which we're touring clips from the forthcoming film short, SERAPHIM film short, that's also coming out. So on one side, I have 10 days. I think I got 3 more.
Wow.
We opened the tour. We opened in Miami at Miami Beach Pride Festival. We went to Baltimore. We've been to New York. We've DC, Houston. I did Memphis last weekend. We're about to do New York again, Chicago. So it's a national tour, 10 dates right now. And we'll probably add a few more on after I get a little break.
Right. Get your rest.
And so it's me, dancers, depending on how long the set is. And we are singing and dancing our lifestyle. Well, I'm singing. They're just dancing.
That's it, right? Right.
But the set for me, I sing and I dance live. So the whole entire time I'm singing live, dancing at the same time. Like I said, Michael, Janet, Usher, Chris Brown, Justin Timberlake. If you like those guys, hopefully if you like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just a little queer slant to it,
Right. So let's touch on something you did bring up just a second ago, you getting rest. You know that, and I say this all the time as well, in our fields that we're in, a lot of people don't understand the hours, the days that we're, I'll say restless, but sometimes it's not even like for me, I can be up. There's been times I didn't even know I was up for 24 hours. I did not know. Like I literally was grinding that hard to where I didn't even know. And then I was like, oh, the sun's still out. And I was still doing stuff. But when I looked, I was like, oh, we're in
yeah.
another day. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is another day. You missed sunset.
Right, right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you've been in that zone, but also how do you make sure that, in our community, we talk about this too, that your mental health is okay? Because, like if you don't take care of that, that can lead to other health problems, health issues. How are you making sure that, you're okay and getting your rest? Or are you taking certain moments to be like, you know what? I need space away for a few. Let me get myself together, and then we'll get right back on it. How do you assure yourself?
Both.
Okay.
uh, we have scheduled, so we've been on tour since end of April.
Okay.
Along with and then like I said, along with the film festival side, so that you make appearances, you have to go to the screen festivals, you have to do the Q&As. So I have scheduled time to actually rest. I know from this day to this day, I can actually sit down and rest. And sometimes like I said, I've missed the event. Even if I'm home or if I'm at a family's house resting, I've missed the event because I'm literally just resting. It's discipline. It really, really is discipline and understanding that. And discipline and communication, because I've let, the people that are supposed to know, they're like, it's going crazy. So rest is important. Rest is also important because, and I'm not saying sleep. There's a difference. You can sleep, but you may not rest. I'm talking about where you have time to prepare to go to sleep and then get some after effects after you've rested. Rest is also important because for vocals, like I literally can't sing if I don't sleep. It becomes that tough. It becomes that tough. It's a whole different mechanism with the lungs and the way things work out, and you're tired, so you literally don't have the energy to even sing and dance. So that's why it's also important. And also like to jog too. Put on the headphones and it's jogging, a few miles. That kind of decompresses me as well. I'm a driver as well too. So like when I have to have a show or something in New York, I'll drive sometimes. I'll just get in the car. I won't fly out. Or if it's somewhere close in like Richmond or North Carolina, or something, I'll actually get on the road and take the time to drive because it kind of decompresses me. So all those things are important. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then after this, a fierce ass vacation.
Right.
I need like a few days in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or some Latin country. I gotta
listen. That I've already said that too. Like there's so many things going on that I'm like, I need my vacation. I need a weekend, even the weekend, 5 days. I don't know. I just need to be somewhere to get myself together, get it mentally like, all right, we're good. Let's go. And you feel refreshed.
Disciplined in that too. Be disciplined in your rest as much as you are in in the hard work. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think people get that too. And I'm like, even when you say like, oh, I want to go on a vacation or something like that, for me, I will be in a whole nother spot. And I
Mhm.
just want to walk outside, be on the beach. I don't want to be out. I don't want to, I don't want to be clubbing, doing all that other stuff. Even when I'm on vacation, it's like, no, I rather just sit in a peaceful area. Like, there's been
Yes.
times that I've even like somebody asked me before, like, what space are I like? I used to be out like close to like Arizona. When I was in LA, I would go to like Arizona, but like even the mountain views and stuff like that, that was my
Oh, yeah.
peaceful moment. That was my peaceful moment that was like, all right, I'm good now. Let's
Mhm.
get back to, and people be like, there's nothing to do there. And it's like, I know.
Yes. That's the
That's
point.
that's the point. I'm not there. Every vacation is not a turn up, people. Like it's just
Correct.
for me to get back to what it is because now once I'm rested, I'm already gonna be on the go. You know what I'm saying? As us as entertainers or in entertainment, our turn up happens sometimes when we're just at events. You know what I'm saying? Like, we walk into you like even when we were at the awards, like
Yeah.
there was
Mhm.
already turn ups going on there.
And it is it.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 So
definitely. Um,
if we're not working. Yeah.
exactly.
Right. Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
so let's go on your short. You talk about your short film. You're incorporating. Let me ask you this. You're incorporating it with your album. Is it tied into it to where it's becoming like a storyline for a short? It's as a short film,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So what we've done is we've released probably about six or seven. How am I not? I don't even know how many released. 5 or 6 music videos, to help promote the album.
Okay.
Um, but what we've done is for the film show, we've arced those music videos together with an
Mhm.
actual storyline with acting and dramatic sequences in order to explain sort
Why?
of why of it. And it's adjacent to the album because it's not following the same arc as the album. It's adjacent
Right.
because we develop a storyline and it's so long story short, it's a musical drama centered around LGBTQ and socially conscious issues. And it's centered around two characters, two lovers named Dante, Druid and Angel. I
Okay.
play Angel and Dante Hensley plays Druid. And they're trying to, I guess, requite their love and get back because they've broken up. They're trying to requite their love. And we experience a day in the life of why they're trying to requite their love or what caused them to break up. And in that, they are haunted by certain choices from the past and certain choices that will actually determine their future.
Mhm.
And it's all kind of swirled around into this pseudo summer of 2020 multiverse of the socially conscious issues. And we find out what happens in a day in the life of. So you gotta
Tune
see
in on it.
it. But the music videos actually tell, I guess the anthology. Sort of, I guess, sort of the anthology. So you can kind of see little clips of it. And what we've done is, so we're trying to take the flagship video, which is a video I did entitled Justice. That's part of that whole suite, that movie suite. And we've been put into a lot of film festivals and we've been winning and getting a lot of official selections, and it's getting a lot of attention for the actual full feature film, which is coming out shortly when when we have the
Let's
pacing
put
of
it there.
it.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's going to be a whole different thing, and hopefully we'll get on that after the tour.
Definitely.
Tour ends July 3rd in New York City at the $3 bill if you guys want to come at open to all. Yeah,
Definitely.
but that
And
was
then I have you get 3 questions. What we
huge.
do on Snub, because we have the number 3 in our name, we're gonna ask these 3 questions that we ask all our guests. The first question, I'm probably already know where you're gonna go with one of those other questions, but I'm gonna still ask it anyway. For the first question, what are 3 words that best describe who you are as an individual?
Ooh, like as a whole person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Compacted into three separate words that you can think of that would describe you.
a musician, Um, hmm. Genuine. Uh, hardworking.
Okay. And why did you choose the word genuine?
Because sometimes even when I speak to people, I'll think through like, no, what is the most important point that you need to tell this person that they can take? And
Mm,
I will literally think that. And it comes from a place of, because I want people to do that for me.
right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want the truth with care. Um, and if it needs to be tough, then it needs to be a tough word, then I need that, give it to me. So I kind of, that's why I say genuine. You're always going to know what's on my mind. My friends, I mean, I'm very soft-spoken and I may come across shy in public, but my friends, I'm a Sagittarius.
They'll tell you how it is.
So sometimes it's really, really hard for me not to be like, what are you doing?
Right,
No.
right,
Or,
right,
oh my gosh, that's excellent. You know,
right,
and people be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to tell this person that.
right.
So that's part of the reason. I don't like there's no reason and there's no time on this planet to not tell the truth to people and to not
Definitely,
want to receive it. Because if you're trying to lie, you're trying to placate, you're trying to do all these things, it's going to come back around to bite you in the butt anyway.
definitely,
That's what I've learned. That's one of the lessons I've learned. So
definitely. And if you could be anybody in anybody's shoe for one day, you have 24 hours to be anybody, past or present. Who would you want to be, and why would you want to be that individual for 24 hours?
snap. Oh, that's a good one. Remember like Janet Jackson? I know her life probably is crazy, so no, no, no. And it can't be yourself, right?
It could be whatever. We don't put no cap on whatever you decide. We've had several different answers. So whatever you would do for 24 hours.
just for 20, I want to see what's going on in Oprah's world for 24 hours.
Okay.
If I could avatar that for 24 hours just to see, yeah,
To
yeah,
see what it is.
yeah.
You would just
Do you like Black Mirror?
yes, yes.
They have a new episode that's kind of like where you can avatar into
Someone
a
else's.
it's called the episode is called Beyond the Sea. And I was like, oh, I wonder who I would do that.
Let's see, we done threw it at
Oprah.
you.
I want to see, yeah, I want to see what's going on in her world for 24 hours and have a conversation with Tyler Perry real quick.
Definitely. And your final question is for, I tell people this all the time. I tell our guests this all the time. Basically, my guests and even my team, whether or not we want to be, and I said this previously, whether we want to be or not to be, um, we're role models. The spotlight is on us. People are looking at us. They see certain things. They're like, oh, they doing this. I'm gonna try. We're in the world of social media. A picture, people want to copy pic, they want to do all this extra stuff. But what do you say to that individual that's genuine and is looking at it and like, you know what, I want to get to this level. I want to, press forward to being how this remarkable person is. How do I get there? What would you say to that individual?
I would speak to them the way that I would speak to myself because I'm still questing, I'm still trekking and journeying for that next thing all the time. You know what I'm saying? Hmm. I can put it this way. I would want to just be inspired to just keep going. Like it's just it's hard to like
Right.
but and it'll be so many things.
Just give them like, what would you give like as a nugget to them then? If you say like, or let's put it like this: if you could tell yourself
I
back
got it.
when you
I
when
got
you
it.
were like when you were
I got it.
doing the play, what can you tell yourself?
I got it. I got it. Faithfulness, God. Absolutely. The same things that I said before. Those are the three pillars that I kind of think about. Faithfulness in God. The talent is one thing. It's gonna be there or not. You kind of born with it. You can hone it enough, but that drive is what's really, really important. Don't, as many wins as we've gotten for this project, there's like double, triple the no's. You know what I'm saying? I don't always get every gig that I want. This tour has been really, really hard to kind of pull together because, promoters have their own agenda of what they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're lucky to get things, so you don't, and there are a couple of big gigs that I've wanted that I was told no, so, but I use those no's to find the energy to get that yes. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes like I've cried about certain things, not about not getting gigs, but just in certain things, these frustrating moments where it's like, shit, I should have done that, or this could have been better, or why didn't we do that, or I wish I could have done that, or they told me no because of some bullshit. And it's like, you know what? F that. I'm going to continue and move forward. You have to continue to move forward. Drive is one of the most important things. You can have talent. Like I said, there's 18,000 people that can do what I do. 18 million people that can do what I did. People that can sing and dance. And okay, cool. You're on Broadway every night. All right. But the difference is those who are on Broadway and what I'm doing, what I want to do is that drive, and the people that have made it is that drive. What you're doing is that drive. Always that hustle. Never give up. What the cliche of what the greats tell you is true.
Right. Yeah.
Why they made it. That's why it's cliche. Because it
Right.
has some sort of truth to it and trend to it. So pay attention to that. So that would be what I said.
Definitely.
I mean, it's me telling myself that anyway. So
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So any final words you want to give to the people before we end our conversation?
Oh,
Any
that's
final
quick.
words you want
That's
to
quick.
give?
Please go out and support Marck Angel and the SERAPHIM album and the SERAPHIM project. We're tackling and attacking a lot of the socially conscious issues that are going on in the world. A lot of the topics that we often discuss about between each other, in our homes with our friends. And it makes you dance. So please support it. Please come out and see me on the tour. Please support the film short when it comes out. And even if you don't do all those things I just said, please find a Black or brown queer artist to support and love, whether it's through acting, whether it's through music, whether it's through Broadway plays, whether it's through film, whatever it is, find that and support that. Find something that shows our representation and tells our stories. And
Definitely.
no matter who it is. If it's not me, there's a lot of us. So please just Google.
Google will show you everything.
You can come up with thousands of artists of all different ranges of pop, rock, I mean, we're there. You can't say we're not there. We can't say you can't find us. So, yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on today and speaking with me. It's an honor and privilege. Good seeing you again, even though we were walking past each other at the event.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. And we look forward to seeing more things from you. Like I tell my guests all the time, I'm telling you personally, there's any way, even like just even this conversation, but any way that we can support you, or, put anything out, get a story out, or however we need to do it to support you, Snub is definitely here for you. And we're grateful for, doing what you're doing. Your mission that you're supposed to do and your passion is incredible. So could keep on doing that. And we're just here for you. All right.
Thank you so much, Rance. It was great. Thank you guys for having me. MarckAngel.com. But thank you. This is great. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll see you out somewhere.
Yeah, you will. All right. See you later. All right.
Happy Pride.
All right. Bye bye.